Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here and back for another video on Marvel Strike Force. It is Saturday. I know some people are expecting my noob video that normally goes out on Saturday. That's going to be later on today, but because I wanted to talk about this first. So there's been some language that's been going around since the blog posts, plural, from the previous blog post and this past one regarding Undying and their usage in Escape from Kiln, the new one, which is going to be upcoming. So it turns out that no longer are Undying required to be used, and this is something that was changed after the previous blog. The problem is that a lot of people weren't notified. Actually, I didn't know. I'm pretty sure most of the envoys didn't know, and nobody in my Discord informed me of this either, because I don't expect people to look at the blog after Friday in a specific section of the blog where things were altered. I'm going to show you what I mean exactly, but I think this is a massive bait and switch, and I feel bad for anyone who may have invested in, purchased, or bought the RTA pass related to Zombie Juggernaut or Undying because they thought that they were going to have to use them in Escape from Kiln. Turns out, no, there are other alternatives, and we'll talk about exactly, what the language around this was. I am not particularly happy with this. It doesn't sit right with me, and I think I need to talk about it. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. So this is the blog post from the previous Friday. And this is where you may have seen it was Unstoppable Undead Returns, talks about Zombie Juggernaut, his event upcoming. And you'll see here in the second paragraph, you'll want a top Undying team for the return of Escape from Kiln, which is opening its doors for another exciting mission in the near future. So it's not next week, because otherwise they would have given us more detail. It may be the week after, however. So I don't know. That's the week of Monday, the 22nd. Might be somewhere in there. That's my guess. Just looking at my calendar. One of the cells will require. See, this is it, right? Because when I did my blog post video last Friday, one of the cells will require the Undying trait. So make sure you rocket this team's power sky high before their important space mission. So that, when I read that, was suggesting, and actually, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are going to need these characters in Kiln, and it's going to be required. And for those of you, we'll go over Kiln for those of you who don't remember how that works. But there's 3 characters. Usually it's a single trait that you have a specific set of characters that you can choose from. In this case, we assumed that it was going to be Undying, that you were going to be required to have them. How high, we didn't really know. But the fact that you would have to use them suggests that, you'd have to start bringing up your Undying characters, right? But no, it's changed from requires to features the Undying trait. So what does that mean, right? And that basically says that you can use them. What the trait is exactly that allows you to use them, I don't know, because Hela does not have the same crossover as Zombie Iron Man and Zombie Juggernaut, who are global bio, right? Or whatever. And so I'm not sure how they cross over, unless it's Undying and another tag, and then you have the option and whatever, and then you could use them, but you don't have to, right? That's what we know now. Okay. And I do want to kind of refer to this comment by Archangel. Sorry, Archangel, but we have to really call this out, because I think this is garbage. And it really goes to show how important the use of language is when you're publishing a blog, when you're addressing the entire community on this, who may do things based on what they read, because it didn't seem like it was in doubt before, right? There's a huge difference between required and whatever features, a huge difference. So let's read this. The blog last week originally said Undying would be required for Escape of Kiln, whatever. It was quickly edited the next day and changed to featured. So what I don't like about this is nobody was told that it was changed. And that is one of the bigger problems, because nobody knew to go and check in it. Like, how many times do you go back and check the fucking blog, right? Because we don't assume that it's going to be changing like that. And I think that's a big thing, is that if it's going to get changed, if it's going to be substantial, then notify the community, notify envoys, all of the above, that this has been adjusted. So change to featured, not required. What does that mean, right? I mean, because that could mean a whole lot of things. Undying was added to the trait they can be used on certain floors. Okay, so this suggests that there's going to be Undying plus something else. That is what needed to be communicated. But those floors will have other options. Okay, so yeah, it's going to be more than Undying. Undying is encouraged for the floors. They will perform well on. Now, I mean, this almost suggests like there's more than one set of floors that they can be used in, but I mean, again, not clear because we don't know the floors, right? And we'll get to that too. We don't know anything about this other than like what is going to be usable, right? Not even required, usable. You could use them if you want to. Is it the best option? I don't know. Spider Society are also recommended for kiln. Didn't spell kiln right, but that's okay. And will perform better than the other options. So, I mean, I'm not gonna. I would rather just know what the floors are, and we'll make that decision, right? You know, based on the characters that are available. I don't want to have people tell me that they're going to perform better than the other options. I want to know what those other options are and make that judgment call for myself. So I don't want to blindly go building something without knowing. And because it's not required, both of them are not required anymore. I'm going to hold off for the moment. Just, you know, and maybe they will be the best option, but I want to know that for myself, right? You know, because so I can share that with you guys and we can go over it together, that kind of stuff. Like I want to see it before I actually blindly build things. And for those of you who did, unfortunately, perhaps blindly build Undying, I feel really bad. And this is kind of the reason why I'm doing this video, because I did have a handful of people from my alliance and a lot of other people who sent me DMs saying, hey, you know, we bought the RTA pass, we built Zombie Juggernaut because we were told that they were going to be required to use in Kiln. And now it turns out it's not. So yeah, I didn't do it. I was going to hold off anyways until I actually knew. But I feel bad for those people who did. Okay. Not required, but encouraged. What does that mean? What does encouraged mean? You know, and I feel like they're using vague language, right? You know, because again, that could mean a whole bunch of things. What is his definition of encourage? That he could say it's the best, but until I know what's actually on the nodes, I'm not going to take somebody else's word for it. I want to see it for myself, right? Spider Society, however, is required for a brand new raid that is coming soon. So that much we do know. Okay, so you are going to need them later, possibly later than Kiln. We don't know. I don't know the details around this raid and Kiln and which is coming first. But Spider Society will be required for that. So in that sense, you know, you probably can, and it's probably safe to build Spider Society if you have the resources to do that, because you're going to have to build them anyways for, you know, future real raids. And so that's not a big deal. But it's the Undying thing that really bothers me. This is not a new difficulty for Incursion. It is a new raid. More information in a blog soon. So my guess is Kiln's coming first, and then whatever this raid is coming after. So I don't know. It could be an event raid, right? Like some people were suggesting it could be Gambit raid or whatever. It doesn't really matter. And then I'm really sick of like information going out via Twitch stream. Like I know mobile gamers Twitch stream is like one of the most popular things around, you know, and Archangel spends a lot of time in there. But I feel like it is better to have communication out globally. And I'm pretty sure I said this on like both to him personally and just in general, you know, in the Envoy server and beyond. And just, you know, it's better that everybody knows something than having to put out in a single Twitch stream. I hate that communication is not centralized, that it's piecemeal, that it's being dropped in different places. Like that kind of pisses me off. So this was a comment, I guess a reply comment to Dulam, who I'm assuming this is Mobile Gamers Twitch, but I don't know. This was shared in my Discord server. In your defense, it did say required on Friday, but I edited it later. Again, the big issue is that it was not followed up with anyone that this was altered. Featured mean they are included. So they can be enemies or qualify with the traits in the room. Why the hell do we care? The players don't care if they're enemies, right? Like if you say featured, we're not going to suddenly think, oh yeah, they're enemies. Like that's what we're thinking. No, that's not. If somebody says that it's featured to me, it means that they're going to be needed. You're going to need to use them or required even, right? You know, but the language does matter here in that instance. So featured does not mean required. However, I would not immediately jump to the assumption that they're talking about enemies in that event. In this case, they had the tags being used in certain rooms, so there'll be other options, but Spider Society will perform better. Again, I'm not going to take anyone's word for it, you know, whether it's Archangel or anyone else. You know, I'd like to make that judgment call myself. Now, it was mentioned down here after the rework stuff or the updates to the buffs, the Spider Society, about why you would want to use them, right? Incursion raids, that stuff, skill raids. They'll be playing an important role in the next iteration of Kiln. I'm pretty sure it's KYLN. Everyone spells this wrong. It's funny. See, because it's Kiln here. I don't know. I'm just OCD about this. Next week's blog will be all about Escape from Kiln. So we'll get the floor stuff. I'll talk about, for those of you who don't remember. They will, however, be required. Okay, we got that. Now, this is Kiln, for those of you guys who do not remember. There are sets of 3 floors with traits on it, and it wasn't until like floor 20 where things started stacking up as far as the gear tier goes. And what we don't know is, where is Undying anywhere usable in this set, right? Is it going to be lower? Is it going to be higher? My guess is it's going to be listed as a higher section of the floor of the tower, right? Because why would you, I don't know, why would you need to call it out necessarily unless it's somewhere above 20, which would be in the gear tier 15 plus range, right? So for those of you who don't remember here, there was Spider-Verse tech, Spider-Verse skill. I have a suspicion, possibly, that the floors may include, well, we'll see, right? Like, it could be Spider-Verse and Undying. I don't see that being in the same cells. I see it being like Undying plus something else, and then Hero Spider-Verse, maybe, which is going to include the Spider Society characters. Some might argue, well, why don't you just use Tangled Web? Because they're a threesome character, and that includes Spider-Man Noir, who's already, in Spider Society. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be something else. That's what kind of pops out at me when I think of something the Spider Society could be used in, but they're not the only ones. Would be Hero Spider-Verse. But you can see like the list of characters here, right? And at the top, which is like where people started struggling. This is for 3 Diamond Gambit. And the other thing is, we don't know what the rewards are going to be. We don't know who the diamond character, if there's going to be a diamond character related to this. I hope it is, but we don't know who that is. So don't go around upgrading your diamonds because you have no idea who it's going to be. It could be a 3 Diamond Ghost Spider or a 3 Diamond Spider-Man Noir. So do not go around buying, stupid me, because I already bought 1 diamond on Ghost Spider and Noir, but I had no idea Kiln was coming. So stop buying anything. And also, don't upgrade anything right now. Save your gold until we know more, until we know exactly what the floor layouts are going to be and what gear tier you need on these specific characters. Don't go around upgrading random shit that you might regret later, right? Whether that's Undying, whether that's maybe Spider Society, though you'll probably eventually get used to that anyways. Just in general, I think you should lay off of upgrading just random stuff until next Friday, where we know a little bit more. Anyways, what does this tell us all? It tells us that language is just really important. What you say, especially when it's on a blog that all the players are going to see, or most of the players are going to see, it's important to have the right statements. It's important to say the right things in the right way, that a lot of people are going to kind of take for, I don't know, they're going to read it and suggest a specific way that things are going to happen, right? And having it changed later after the fact without telling the community, I think is crap, for lack of better words. And they need to do better, and they need to learn from this. And because this could have real world repercussions. I don't spend a lot of money, but a lot of people do, right? And so those people who spent on the assumption that they were going to have to use Undying to get through this, well, sucks for you, I guess. I don't know what else to say, really. But I just wanted to raise this to everyone's attention. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Did you go ahead and buy anything related to Undying? Did you upgrade Undying with this assumption, or you thought that this was going to happen? And hey, if you had no idea what was going on, then I hope that I raised the attention to this issue that has been brought to me by enough people that I felt like I needed to do a video on it. That's going to be the end of this video. Later on today, I'm going to have my noob video, my noob Saturday update. So take a look at that if you're interested. And until next time, everybody, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see y'all later. Boilon signing out.